Right now, the way he's playing, I understand that why people see him as a career backup quarterback. Obviously, it's not nothing elite about him. Maybe mentally it might be, but as far as the physical traits go, there's nothing elite about him. And I think that's something that might come back to haunt him in later on. So I understand why people are frustrated and why understand some people want to see, Shedeur in there. I still think Shedeur got some things he's got to work on, though, before he's able to get in there. But I understand why people's like, all right. But the thing, what makes it so bad is that we can't ignore the fact that Dillon also don't have an elite supporting cast. But I don't know. It's just when you look at Dillon, I haven't seen that real splash yet. It hasn't been that moment where I was like, okay, this guy's elite. Like, I haven't had that thought in my head yet.
Tyvis Powell on with the Midday, gentlemen. Earlier today, talking about Dillon Gabriel and his ceiling and how do we evaluate Dillon Gabriel. You were making the case of, well, it was 18 throws. I don't really know how much he had to do with the way that game went. I think Tyvis kind of there talking about the supporting cast, and I think if we start kind of picking apart a little too much, like the perfect time to evaluate quarterbacks, I think we're going to be missing the whole point of this entire season. I don't think there is going to be a perfect time. This is as good of a time. This is what you got, and if you can't overcome the surrounding cast, I think that's a pretty strong. I don't want to say indictment. I want to say it's a pretty strong statement on who you are as a quarterback.
Well, I don't know about it's not overcoming. I mean, yesterday was a big time win. Like if anything, yesterday should be, even though he wasn't asked to do much. You won by 25. I mean, that's a blowout.
I don't think he had anything to do with the win yesterday.
But you still won. Well, I mean, you can see quarterbacks, and we saw it with Tua. Tua had 3 obvious interceptions, and there's no one else to blame on those plays than Tua. Like, we've seen quarterbacks just look absolutely atrocious and melt down. He didn't do that. Now, is that enough of a reason to say that he's like the second coming? Of course not. Like, if you're expecting Dillon Gabriel to be what you see in New York with Jackson Dart, you got another thing coming. Like, instantaneously, you could see that Jackson Dart has the it factor. Jackson Dart has a high ceiling. Jackson Dart can be a franchise quarterback. We're never going to see that with Dillon. That's not coming.
Yeah, but we should still see more than what we saw yesterday, which is got lucky that there was an interception and missed a pretty wide open touchdown on the left side of the field. And those are the 2 mistakes that I remember. And again, I'm fully aware that we are game 3 here. But I think this idea of because I think there's this case maybe building, and I can understand if the Browns try to go down this avenue in 3 games, if the next 3 games look like the last 3 games.
Tell me what you're scared of here, because there's something that you seem as if you're bothered by.
Claiming that you have a lack of clarity on a quarterback who through 6 games in the NFL. You should know what you're looking at.
You should have known what you're looking at when you threw him out there for week 1. Like it's not like no part of this is a surprise at who Dillon Gabriel is. Like that to me, if they were holding out hope that he would instantaneously be what Jackson Dart has been, then they had another thing coming. Like that's not.
But that's exactly what they were hoping. That's why they put him ahead of Shedeur. That's why they took him in the 3rd round.
But I've told you for months how wrong, and we've all thought for months how wrong they are in that assessment.
But I think my point is, I don't think they were holding on to anything by putting Dillon there. But if you hold on to something by keeping him in there longer than you need to, that, to me, is where I can see this coming.
I mean, I think he's going to go as far as the wins go. If you beat the Patriots, even if Dillon Gabriel had nothing to do with it, I think they're going to continue to throw him out there. And then the week after that, if you start stacking up wins and Dillon Gabriel's not the reason why, I think Stefanski's going to look at it as complimentary football, which he loves. And I think he's going to look at it as, well, he doesn't turn the ball over, which is what we've desperately needed. And he's going to try to build his arsenal around that.
But that's why this station matters. That's why these fans matter, because you can't lie to us. I'm not saying they're trying to at this moment. I'm saying if they just happen to go 2-1 in their next 3 games, but Dillon looks like he did yesterday, and you're content on allowing him to play farther than that, you're trying to put one over on us. We know exactly what's happening. Like, he didn't play well enough to win yesterday. He didn't. He played poorly comparative to his first game. He's not been as good as that vaunted first game, which I believe I said was adequate and you said was acceptable. Let's strike that and reverse that.
And I think that's I don't know that I agree with that assessment either, though. I mean, he completed 70% of his passes. He didn't turn the ball over. Like, there were he didn't get asked to do much, but it's not as if he wasn't vomiting on his shoes out there.
Yeah, but he didn't play well. Like, this idea, like, fine, he should have had an interception and he missed a wide open touchdown. I don't know, like...
I mean, there's all sorts of quarterbacks that miss touchdowns. That happens throughout a game, and there's all sorts of quarterbacks that have almost interceptions.
Passes, so what am I going to grade him on?
Well, but that's kind of what we're trying to figure out is what do you grade him on? And in that game, if he's 13 of 18, which is again a 73% completion percentage, he had a 90 passer rating.
Who cares about if you're completing a yard pass? Who cares about that? We live in an era where everybody's fumbling, and not fumbling, they're fudging pass completion percentages by doing a bunch of check down.
What he has for himself that other quarterbacks around this Browns team doesn't is that he is not turning the ball over and he is not putting the football in harm's way on a consistent basis.
Other quarterbacks the last 2 weeks he has put the ball in harm's way. He just hasn't turned the ball over. Those are two different things.
Did he turn the ball over?
No, but you said he hasn't been put.
Did he turn the ball over?
You said he hasn't put the ball in harm's way.
You're giving him interceptions that he didn't have, though. Like it wasn't an interception yesterday.
Are interceptable plays a thing? Doesn't PFF have that?
Archuleta called it careless. You can call it whatever you want. It did hit the Browns receiver's hands, did it not?
Yes, after it went through the. What are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Are we trying to identify this kid? Like, are we trying to look at this kid and ask what the hell he is? Because you and I both have a way that we think he is. But this idea that the first game, that was his rookie game, so we got to give him a pass there.
Well, he's three games into this, Nick.
Well, yes, that's the point. You got 17 games this season.
Figured out over 3 games with Dillon Gabriel?
I'm supposed to say you can have an opinion on how he's played, and my
opinion is it wasn't as bad as you're saying it is right now.
No, your opinion was we can't grade him on this game. We couldn't grade him on last game.
No, my opinion was last week we couldn't grade him, and this week I said it was a much better game than what you're saying. I've said acceptable like 12 million times.
I believe. Okay,
am I putting him in Canton? No,
I believe at some point you said I'm not sure what we can grade him on after this week.
No, I'm saying when you have 7 passes through 3 quarters, it's unfair to come out here and say he's part of the problem.
He's an NFL quarterback. There's nothing unfair about this.
No, it's unfair to say he's part of the problem when you win by 25 points.
The clock is ticking.
There's so many quarterbacks, like Tua displayed yesterday, that vomit all over their shoes in any given week. That was 3 bad interceptions. He didn't do that.
So because he wasn't Tua Tagovailoa?
Look at our situation. Look at our situation. Yes, you need a quarterback that can at least be stable and can at least not turn the ball over.
You need a starting quarterback, not a backup. He's a backup through 3 games.
And no part of me has disagreed with the long-term assessment of Dillon Gabriel, but for 3 weeks to sit here, and especially yesterday, to sit here and say that was some lousy game, it's just not true.
He wasn't good.
No, that's not true.
Why? Because he went 13 of 18 and he's got an adjusted completion percentage for 78%. If I threw the ball a yard, I could get 50% completion in the NFL.
It was 6.5 yards. That was a yard and a half longer than Joe Flacco did in his first 5 games.
Yeah, that's an approximation of 18 plays. Most of his plays were short plays.
I don't know what to tell you.
And by the way, the Browns receivers also had a lot of yards after the catch, which inflated those numbers. He wasn't good. Why is it hard to say that? I'm not saying you're saying. I'm just saying, like, in general, we will like pull our punches. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to be wrong. Good. Like, he wasn't very good yesterday.
Not afraid to be wrong. It's so much easier for me. It's so much easier. I've ragged on him for 6 months. It's so much easier for me to come out here and be like, he stinks, he sucks. But it's 3 games, and it doesn't appear, at least yesterday was not his fault. No part of yesterday was on Dillon Gabriel. You won the game by 25.
He made bad plays. That is his fault.
His game plan, again, supporting actor, his game plan yesterday was to just not get in the way. That was the game plan. He performed that as well as you possibly could.
If Paul Giamatti doesn't screw up the spot for Al Pacino, it wasn't that Paul Giamatti was crappy because it didn't screw up Al Pacino.
His role
I'm sorry, this is a bad analogy.
Yes, it was. His role was to simply hand the ball off to Quinshon and let Quinshon cook.
He made 18 throws.
That was his job. That was
he made 18 throws. You can grade him off those 18 throws.
Don't throw 4 interceptions and lose the turnover battle. He threw 0 interceptions.
You know what? That's how I'm grading every quarterback from now. Did you play as bad as Tua Tagovailoa did specifically yesterday?
No. Did he turn the ball over?
You're my quarterback.
Did he turn the ball over yesterday in a game where you knew as long as you don't turn the ball over, you're going to win?
Worthy plays.
You counted 1
for the second straight week. Did he have
counted
turnover?
1, which by the way,
1 turnover's too many with this guy.
All sorts of quarterbacks have a turnover in a game. The only reason he's out there is
he doesn't turn over the damn ball.
And also, since I didn't know we were so big in turnover-worthy plays, because that's my area, I like this. If we can bring this to the table, I'm perfectly fine with that moving forward. I just need to know that's where you stand. And also, we get to then, if he missed a touchdown in the end zone, we get to bring that one up as if that's like the biggest crime in the world.
Have we not done that with everything else?
As if that's the biggest crime in the world.
Have we not done that with every other quarterback?
There's so many plays in a game. We've seen so many quarterbacks miss.
We hammered Joe Flacco for his misses.
Throws.
We hammered Joe Flacco
13 of 18
for his interceptions.
This is not the game to get on Dillon Gabriel, Nick. It's not the game to do it.
It's not the game to say anything other than, that wasn't a great game from him, but they still won. Hey, cool. You were one of the 3 worst things that happened yesterday, but we won by 25.
Things?
Yes, he played poorly.
It wasn't poor, Nick. That was not a poor performance.
Let's just say fine as many times as we can. Just fart that into the ether and hope it's true.
I'm not a Dillon Gabriel supporter, but to suggest that yesterday had any sort of ramifications off of him is just, it's nonsensical.
No, it didn't have any ramifications, which makes you lucky. But you can still grade the performance and say, all right, those are 2 big plays that one you're lucky didn't go against you, and the other one you're lucky didn't go against you either. If I've got 18 plays to grade you off of, and a quarter of them, because there were 2 other plays, I can't remember the exact specific down and distance.
Well, you're going to have to learn which ones they are, or else you're just going to have to sideswipe those for a second. I'm going to need exact examples here.
Is Dillon Gabriel the greatest quarterback you've ever seen? 216-474.
Come on now. That wasn't.
Well, no, you've completely
the
forgiven him for 2 plays, and because I can't remember the exact 2 other plays, well, they don't matter now. He took points off the board.
No, I'm going to let you go back to the all 22, and I'm going to let you look at it, and then you can bring them to the table tomorrow.
Very excited for the all 22.
You can bring them to the table tomorrow if you like.